really stand out. You have
You
beautiful.
look like a movie star.
I am. I'm kind of a big deal.
Joanne, we are now recording the September 30th, 2016 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And we love Joanne's picture with the purple hair.
You want me to turn my camera off?
There you go. And I love the coffee cup. That's a great picture.
Thank you.
Okay. So Joanne, you did something exciting this week.
I did something exciting today, just a couple of hours ago. I've been wanting to do this for a while and I haven't had a chance to figure it out, but I have figured out how to Facebook live stream from your computer.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that was possible.
It is.
Wow.
Love it.
So that's kind of like a game changer for a lot of people who want to, especially in our industry where we want to maybe do more tutorials and stuff and have like live videos like right on your Facebook business page. You actually really don't even have to show yourself with the camera. You could do like a screen capture. You could record like a Zoom meeting and have it go onto Facebook Live. So there's a lot of different options that you can do to kind of just up that game than just have it on your phone.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you can like do a video of like you doing a task in QuickBooks. It'll video your computer instead of me just looking at my computer.
Correct. And you could even do like a picture-in-picture if you wanted to. You could actually show yourself if you wanted to and your screen.
You need a special webcam for that?
Yep. No, it's a plain, well, for me, I have a Mac computer, so I have my webcam, and then I also use my QuickTime, which does screen capture, but you can download a lot of different softwares where you can do screen capture live streaming. So that's been a lot of fun. So now I'll be doing something in the Be Socially Awesome group. I'm going to be doing a special training. So if anybody wants to sit in on that, I'm going to let you guys know when that'll be.
That's awesome.
What times are your social awesomes? Is that on Friday at some particular?
I haven't been doing them lately just because I haven't had a lot of time with, the September 15th and kind of escaping all of that. But this will be just kind of like a one-time deal. It'll be like a special I'll put in there and people can just like sign up for it and pop in and watch it. Because there's a couple of different softwares you have to download, but it works for Windows and it works for Mac computers. So, and it's free.
Free,
Yay.
my favorite price.
I know, we love free.
Yep.
Well, I highly recommend everyone sitting in on Joanne's webinar. You'll learn lots.
Are you going to put out a thing when you're going to have it, and will you record it if we can't make it and can watch it later?
Maybe. Usually it's better if you come live.
Please.
Usually it's better if you come live.
I'll be there. Just let me know when.
I will. I got to look at my schedule over the next, it'll be like within the next couple of weeks because I just think it's, I still have to play around with it because Misha was helping me test it this afternoon and there's a slight audio visual like sync. It's like out of sync a little bit and I'm not sure if it has to do with just how busy the internet was, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So I still have to tweak out the bugs, but it does work. It's actually over on my profile. The video is still up there that I kind of did when I was testing it out today.
Oh, cool.
Pretty cool.
Cool. So let's talk QB Connect. Again, the question comes up, who is going to QB Connect?
I definitely am. Gary, are you going?
This is my first QB Connect because it's in my backyard and only 13 miles from my home. So I said, might as well.
Yeah.
Meet these virtual friends, and also connect with more people.
Nice. I would like to do a Zoom with you guys sometime Wednesday, the last day of the QB Connect.
Okay.
Whenever you guys get together, let me know. I'll set up the Zoom and like Shelly did after, it was really great.
Actually, I'm leaving quite late Wednesday. I'm departing San Jose Airport at 8:15. So
what time does the Connect close? What time are they done?
No, I was never able to figure that out, which is why I got my
My guess is the last keynote, I believe, is at 2 o'clock or 2:30.
Okay.
So I would say by 4.
Okay. Okay.
I'm probably gonna leave before then because traffic going to my house from there is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So you want to get out of there early, or do you just see? I usually just.
No, I'm gonna get out of there probably around noon.
Okay.
You're gonna miss my session then.
No, really?
My,
Oh, well,
session,
I guess I gotta
my
stay.
session's at 12:45 on the last day.
Okay, then I'll wait till after, and then me and my sister-in-law could go have dinner or something.
Let's see.
Yeah, I figure I'll have dinner with anybody who's left, and then I'll head over to the airport.
2 o'clock is the last featured speaker from 2 to 3 o'clock. So we should be done and kind of out by I would say 3:30 or whatever. And maybe some of us could meet up somewhere and do the Zoom.
Yeah, that would be great.
That sounds great.
Yeah, maybe we could do. Hey, listen, Joanne, and how long are you staying in Santa Clara, in San Jose area?
I'm actually coming in. I'm actually coming in the Thursday before.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm staying in San Francisco with some YouTube friends Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Really?
And then Sunday, my friend's dropping me off at the hotel. And then I'm staying until Thursday morning. And then my sister's picking me up and taking me to Modesto.
Okay.
You got a regular trip.
What are you going to be doing when you're in the city?
What's that?
What are you going to be doing when you're in the city?
In San Francisco?
Yeah.
My friend's taking me to some stuff, some touristy stuff. We're going to do Alcatraz, the Wax Museum.
I'm 40 minutes from the city.
Oh, really? Well, maybe we'll see if we can hook up then
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right.
I'm coming in Sunday morning, so if anybody in that area wants to do something with me, I have nobody to play with on Sunday.
Okay, call me. I'm getting in about 11 or noon. I'm being dropped off there. So call me, and then we could do something.
Yeah, let me know when because she's going to be dropping me off in the sometime midday or whatever. So.
Yeah. Now, how do I get from the airport to the hotel? Anybody want to pick me up?
Are you going into San Jose?
San Jose.
If you're flying into San Jose, they're going to have buses.
Yeah, shuttle.
Oh, good.
They have these high-tech, really fancy buses that they will bring you right to your hotel.
Oh, great.
And if you're flying into San Francisco, they have Uber coupons that you can get a free Uber ride.
I went into San Francisco last year, and I came in with Kathy Iconis.
Cool.
He was nice enough to take pity on me. I look really sad.
I was going to bring my car, but they charge $50 a day to be parking there.
Yeah.
So I can't be dropping me off.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Who's going to Accountex? I am.
I am.
Me too.
Who's that?
This is
Sarah?
Gary's going. Who else said I am?
Barry, you're going to Caltex?
Yeah, this is my first time. So being in the industry, I just acclimatizing myself.
Maybe I should. I don't know. I keep thinking.
It's
Yeah, I am not going to go. I don't know. It's in November. That's why it's hard for me. November is too close to the holidays.
yeah.
And back to back with QB Connect. I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get out to the West Coast 2 times.
Right.
It's a killer. Let me tell you, I did it last year. It's a killer.
It's killer. Well, I mean, it takes a lot. I'm taking a little bit of extended time away, but I'm going to be working a lot of stuff still remotely. You know what I mean? But it's tough to be out of the office and kind of out of your regular routine for that extended amount of time. I wouldn't be able to do it twice.
I work remotely, so I can work anywhere. But of course, I'm working on a laptop, and I have my Surface and my Mac, so I'm not as fast. I can do it. I'm just not as fast with my 4 monitors.
You had 3 monitors on your little picture down at the beach.
Oh, did you like that picture at the beach?
Yes.
Yeah. Deborah, that picture totally rocked. You totally rocked that picture, by the way. I loved it.
with my husband, I told him we have to go to the beach, I have to have a picture taken. He goes, oh, I have ideas. He put all the computers we have in the car, including the monitor. He was going to set up a whole office out there. So I said, well, just bring it. We got
Tell
all
him
our
that you're going
swag.
to be in my solo session. Tell him that you're going to be my superstar in my solo session because it's hard work.
Yeah, I mean, who brings that many computers to the beach? I mean, you have to carry all those. We got to go back and forth to the car.
He had him. We had more in the car. I said, so then, and then we got this, we grew this whole crowd around us. And they said, oh, we love your office. You know?
Oh no! And then you made us jealous with your QuickBooks towel, and you got everything. You like swagged it out. I loved it. It was so cool.
We went up and all the swag, you know, with my Avalara sunglasses on. Gina noticed
Yeah.
those.
I recognize that orange sunglasses.
So that was fun. That was fun to do.
I
And
had
then right after that, it poured rain. So we got, you know. So
Wow.
I
right
found
fun.
my when I was going through a lot of my little swaggy stuff that I have here, I found all of my you know, the Marriott, or do you guys remember the wristbands that they gave us last year for the party, for the Avalara after party?
Yeah, the one that you slap onto your wrist.
Yeah,
right?
I have like 5 of them.
Wow.
We
Wow.
had the same kind for T-Sheets party.
Yeah, and then look at, and then so this is another Avalara thing I have. Look at, I still have this. Wait a minute. Look at, can you see that?
Oh yeah.
I got a wristband that
They
does that.
have this at that after party.
Oh yeah, the rings. Oh, those are my absolute favorite. You know what? I have like 10 of them, and whenever I go to a party, I put them on.
I know. I love them.
They're like, those are so cool. I'm like, oh yes, they are.
The first time I went to QuickBooks Connect, Misty met me out there, Misty King, and she gave me one of those Pro Advisor watches.
Oh, they're nice. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I thought that was really sweet of her.
Which are the green ones?
The white one.
Oh, I
Nice.
don't think I've seen white one. I've seen a green one. I have a green one.
Yeah,
I have a black one.
Ooh, I like
They're really
black.
nice too because you can set the time for, like, if you get to your appointment at 11 o'clock, you can set your little time and then, you know, wind it around however many hours you've been there. So it's a manual time entry thing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Has anybody gotten the iPhone 7 Plus? No, I guess not.
Android person all the way.
Boom.
Yeah, even though your note was recalled, was
What?
that the note that you recommended? No? The new
No,
one?
I have a Note 5. I think it was the Note 7 that was recalled.
Note 7.
Because
Okay.
now if you're flying, part of their safety thing is if anybody has one, they don't let them on the flight, or they make sure that it's turned off.
Is that you, Sarah?
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah?
Oh my gosh, are you sick?
No, but I'm resting.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like you're in bed.
Yeah.
Golly, I have my camera off. I can't believe you
Your
guys
voice.
know that.
I know the sound of somebody who's laying in bed. Sorry.
Your personality shows through.
I'm used to
When
talking
you're
to
not.
Misha when she's in bed, so that's why.
Yeah, so we can tell.
Oh my God. Okay, I just woke up from my nap. Okay. There you are. She's back. No, you're talking about voices. So Yosef was on a HubDoc Fathom webinar yesterday, and he was like very, very not true to his nature. His voice was like really down. He sounded sick. Like very not motivating. And, you know, he's like the cutest thing ever. Like, you know, we all have mad crushes on HubDoc guys because they're all super cute. But anyway, so he was a downer, and I was listening to him too, and I was about to shut the webinar off because I'm like, okay.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and so I was like, you know, because, you know, Joanne knows I'm a listen while you work, which, you know, she's
Right.
only billable, and I'm semi-billable, semi-learning. So anyway, so I'm about to cut him off, though, because if I'm not learning from you, I cut you off because you're taking away from my billable hour, you know? So I'm about to cut him off, like hang up on the webinar, and somebody actually mentioned, By the way, this accounting webinar is as exciting as the voice of the presenter.
Oh,
Gosh, are you
Oh my
serious?
it was. It was depressing.
Well, that's
Oh,
why,
Sarah,
that's
were you
why
on there?
people have, everybody has different styles of teaching and learning and stuff. And people, some people like to listen to certain, people. And yeah.
'Cause I had a client who said, I'm ready to come over. And I said, hold on, I got to do this webinar. And about halfway in it, I texted her and said, come on.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, it was but it was really unlike him though, because he's such an upbeat person, and he must have been having not the best day, and he was really down. I kind of felt bad. I'm like, oh man.
Happens to the best of us. We can't all be up all the time.
Well, some of us can.
That's true.
Well, Mariette and Joanne and shoot. I'd like
I'm
to.
glad you're with us, Sarah. You and who else was on this morning with Seth? Mariette, were you there?
I was.
Gary would like to talk about
I don't remember.
Expensify and HubDoc and which should he use and what's different about them.
Yes. Depends on, they're each for a different purpose.
Right.
Reason I asked is because one of my client, they have 300 plus bills, and I used initially Receipt Bank and scan. Some of the bills are from long bills and they don't come under regular scan. But in spite of that, only a few of them, and I was charged $93 for that, and I'm by Receipt Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about canceling and just use HubDoc for the remaining, and the long one which cannot be scanned, just key it manually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, for me, and we talked about this a little bit this morning, but when it comes to what you want to use for receipts and stuff like that, it all has to do with what the client needs and what their goals are, as far as, do they need to be able to have a separate copy of all the receipts? Do they want the receipts inside the PO? Do they want to have an organizational system for the receipts? Do they want them in there to be able to push over and be automatically posted inside of the software? So, and each one of the ones that Seth went through, there was a little bit, they were all handled slightly differently, and there's different pros and cons to them. So, for example, people that just use QBO, the QBO app, and be able to attach receipts using that, the downside of that is that you can never get your PDFs back except for downloading them one at a time all over again.
That is just so unacceptable. It's crazy.
So that's one downside for just using QBO. And so same thing with Expensify. Expensify, it takes the receipt and it pushes into QBO, but how do you have your stuff saved, for future? Like, what if you don't?
Every report. Are you pushing each individual receipt through Expensify instead of on like a report for the week or report?
Yeah, assuming you're not using Expensify for a report, you're just using it to push receipts over.
It's great for reports. It just makes a PDF of all the coding and authorization for,
Yeah, so then with HubDoc, the thing is, what I like about HubDoc is that there actually is an easier way to be able to take everything that HubDoc brings in, and you can actually have it separately outside of the platform. They make it fairly easy for you to be able to do that. So
What workaround I have done is I have asked them, and they said they can fax me 9, 10 every day. That's fine. I said that's fine. And it comes to my email. I signed up with an online fax, $2.99 for 500 faxes. And when it comes, it from the fax, it automatically goes to my Gmail and to the Google Drive. Mm-hmm. And I'll have HubDoc pull from Google Drive and then just do it rather than doing myself.
Yeah.
Do you make sure they don't do anything confidential? Because I have I use Ring Central for my faxes, and it comes in as PDFs. But if you have them go into an email, they're not secure.
No, it comes to my email.
Okay, so all right, so You know how faxes are more secure than email because
Yeah.
it's over a phone line?
But
But
if
if
it
you're
comes in
forwarding them
PDF, it's
to
not secure.
email, then they're not secure.
It's not secure. Yeah, that's the downside of using that.
Yeah,
Right.
but you can fax directly into. You fax to HubDoc?
You can fax and have it and have the email, have that one specific email from a certain person, I think.
Right. So now we're back to the email thing again.
HubDoc email, but it's
But
HubDoc
how
email.
secure do you really need your receipts to be?
No, I don't worry about that unless there's some sort of a.
Depends on what's on there.
Yeah.
These are all
It's
standard.
way documents like new hire documents. I always say.
Yeah.
Right, right. You don't want that on there. You don't want social security numbers. You don't want credit card numbers.
But again, it comes down to what's the purpose of having the receipts and why, what do you need to do with them? Do you need them to be automatically posted?
Yeah.
Are they just there for you to be able to view so that you can get the transactions in there? Or
My objective was to, I signed up with them and thought Receipt Bank will help me bring 95% of the receipts in there, the bills into Xero. I use Xero, for example, and I also use QuickBook Online for a couple clients who want to use QuickBook Online.
Mhm.
And but not all of the receipts were able to be scanned because of the scan size. They have very odd sizes of the bills.
Mhm.
Supermarket, and that's and then I could key them, and they want to keep the receipt with them. I said, that's fine, you can keep it. And they were willing to mail it every month. They live 300 miles from here.
Oh my gosh.
See, no, the other one that Seth talked about was Shoebox.
Yeah.
And he sends all of his receipts to Shoebox, who then gets it all back to him, and then he gets into like Evernote. But
they could get a
Gary.
Jitsu Scan Snap. I have one of those, and they're awesome. They scan.
I have
go into Evernote. It has all these other apps that it can go to.
The client would have to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
in fact, I'm also willing to
expensive.
buy a $150 Scan Snap and give it to them.
Yes.
Gary, have you tried Neat?
No, I have Scan Snap myself.
Yeah.
No, have your client
Awesome.
have your client use Neat.
They don't
Neat
have
Desk.
$50
Neat
for
that the Neat Desk actually it doesn't matter the size.
I see.
The software is awesome.
Yeah. Well, the
Scan
thing
it,
is, though, if
scan
he's
it,
having
and
problem
scan
with
right into a
that,
PDF.
if he's having problem with odd sizes, though, that Shoebox, it's actually very reasonable for the number of transactions that has to be processed. And if you go back and watch when you watch the Zoom that Seth did, he shows like exactly how the receipts come in and how nice they look and how you can really read them and be able to, and they bring them in as a PDF. And some of these things bring things in as images. So it makes a difference if you want an actual image for the final thing or if you want a PDF for the final thing.
Hey, and I wonder if when you have a service like Shoebox, because there's an option where they could send them back to you, the receipts. I mean, would you keep the receipts? I wouldn't want the receipts. The whole purpose of me sending it to them is so it's digital.
Yeah, I don't know I tried it. I was going to try it once and I just never sent them back the stuff because I was laughing. I was telling Seth this morning that I have a Shoebox account, but it's with my son. Because I give all my stuff to my son and he literally scans it, and he scans my stuff once a month and it takes him maybe 15 minutes tops because I have one of those high-speed scanners and it goes right into a folder, and then I put it to Evernote, and then sometimes I'll use some things into HubDoc. So I'm kind of in between two worlds right now because I'm testing it out to see which one makes more sense for me, because it might not make sense for me to put things into HubDoc and then shoot it into QuickBooks, because I want to be able to get my stuff if I ever decide to leave QuickBooks and go to Xero or to go to Sage, or you know what I mean? I want to be able to have my receipts in one place.
Makes sense. Hey, wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys use, like when you send an engagement letter to your clients? Do you use DocuSign? What do you use? I mean,
17 hats.
17 hats, yeah, that's what I kind of figured. How about
Client so long, I'm like, sign it and fax it back.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Yeah, sign it and fax it back.
I've been using Adobe EcoSign.
EcoSign, okay.
I don't usually do that many. I think I get 10 a month and it's free. But you can do an unlimited, and I think it's like $12 or $15 a month. Don't quote me on that. But it's really cool, and I literally can I can create the doc because I have full Adobe Acrobat, so I can do everything, fillable, everything, lay out the signature, everything, and then I send it directly into using the client's email right into EcoSign. I always say it wrong. It's EcoSign or EchoSign or whatever, and then they send it back to me, and I can download it right into my computer.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's another one called PandaDoc too.
PandaDoc?
PandaDoc.
I don't learn how to use 17 hats.
Yeah, I don't use PandaDoc, but do you know Emily Clark?
I have PandaDoc.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know she likes PandaDoc, but then she wants to look at 17 hats too because she wants to be able to integrate it with like a workflow, so it's kind of like seamless and not having to go out to another thing to be able to do the engagement letter. She just wants to be able to push, and I'm telling you, when you get that streamlined set up, it's so much easier to not have to do anything.
I got to talk to you. Maybe I need to pay you to show me how to do it.
It's easy.
Yvette, I actually use Right Signature with ShareFile.
Oh, ShareFile? Yeah.
It's an amazing option. I do 70 hats for all my accounting and bookkeeping engagements for my tax preparation. It provides like a very, very secured 8879 process. And the beauty of it, though, is that when the actual taxpayer signs the right signature, it gets saved right back into a ShareFile folder. So as soon as I send it to the client and they sign it, that's it. I'm literally done. I just get an email that says it's been signed and it's already in their tax preparation folder, because all my clients obviously have electronic folders where all their files are saved. And so I don't even have to go back and check that folder. I already know that I have a signed document there, and then I can go ahead and e-file their taxes.
So Mariette, do you send it to them through, do you send them through the right signature?
Do me a favor, send me, actually I'm driving. So send me an email and I'm gonna send you a video that literally goes through it, and just kind of a quickie is what happens is at the very end of the tax preparation, they get an email from 17 Hats that says the last step is that you have to sign your tax return. So they actually get through ShareFile. I right click on a signature form. I just right click on the form that says get signature. It goes through Right Signature. It sends them an email. They e-sign, and then Right Signature automatically populates that same signed form back into their folder. So it's done. Like when I start that workflow email from 17 Hats, essentially all I'm waiting for is the email that says that they're done. And then I go ahead and click on e-file.
That's great.
So have you received payment ahead of time, or do you do it at that?
In that same in the same workflow email, the very last one that says your taxes are done, they've already approved them. In the actual email also is a payment link for them to pay their taxes. So I actually double check that their invoice is paid. I double check that the signature has been put back into the folder. And then I click on the e-file button. And in the email, it says, unless your preparations have been paid in full and I have a signed form within 24 hours, your return will not be e-filed. So when I send that to them like that, they're like, oh shit, I better pay here, and I better e-sign like within the next 24 hours. So that's what
now, hey, Mariette, who's your merchant provider?
I use QB Payments.
Yeah, so do I. Okay. And does anybody use Quivinci?
I will. Okay, I'll call you back.
No.
You don't use
I tried it, and then I stopped when they stopped it from being free.
Yeah, because I just noticed I was going to use it because I used to have a free subscription, and now they want me to pay for it.
Right. I did play around with it a little bit. It really didn't do, I was more interested in cash flow reports, and for what I was looking for, it just didn't really do it for me.
Right.
So when they went to pay, I just said, that's it for me. I'm not giving you a credit card.
Bye-bye.
I wish T-Sheets gave us the free account's only for a year.
I don't know. I've never paid.
Really?
For accountants?
The Accountant Pro thing is free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free.
The T-Sheets Pro, once you're a pro advisor, certified pro.
Oh, I'm going to take the
certified.
class next
You
week.
got to get certified, Sarah.
I'm
That's-
not
yeah, that's
certified.
next
They don't charge me.
That's what it is.
You're not certified, Joanne?
Not in T-sheets.
Oh. Well,
It's easy though. You guys will get
tell her
certified.
we can do it.
Yeah, I'm certified with Intuit.
Yeah, I'm doing it next Wednesday, noon. to
So you
2.
have clients with T-sheets?
Do
Sarah?
I? Well, to Sarah.
No. And Joanne, do you?
I signed up.
I use it myself, but I've referred it to a couple people. They weren't my client. I don't know if they ever actually signed up or not.
Oh yeah, and I got like $74 in commissions, but it was under $100, so I lost it.
Aw.
Yeah, so I signed back up, and they gave me like a couple weeks, and I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right, because I wanted all my employees to look at it, because now with this December 1 thing coming upon us, I want to automate. But the problem is, it really is wicked expensive for the clients that have seasonal,
Right,
work 1 or 2 days in a pay cycle. It's just, to pay $5 for a timesheet for one person who works once, it can get really crazy expensive. So, but I might share the cost or something, just because it'll speed up our work. But anyway, I wanted all my employees to get a touch and feel it, and so that's what we've been doing. But,
So Yvette, have you looked at Finagraph as far as a reporting?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
one of them, it only worked if you had AR and an AR account, and AP and an AP account. And I have so many clients that have other systems that are running, say AR, and so they're just journal entries or just
Right.
means of coming in. So if it isn't the type accounts receivable, it doesn't know which account. You can't map. In other words, I want something that I can actually say, here's my chart of accounts, and I want to map a certain way.
Right.
And I haven't been able to find that.
I use Finagraph a little bit, and I was having a problem with one client where on the COGS it wasn't picking up some things, it wasn't matching, and they were able to get it to work after a couple weeks.
So you called support and
I called them and I said, hey, looks like you're not mapping these things correctly, and it was within certain account number ranges that was mapping the COGS, but it wasn't mapping everything, and so it looks like they straightened it out.
Good.
Because sometimes we'll put things in other income or other expenses, for management purposes, you want something somewhere, and some of these programs, they want you to pigeonhole you into exactly how they want it to be. But I have that huge consolidation that I do every quarter that I would love to find something, so I'm not doing it in Excel.
One thing I found, though, was that when I was trying to do QB desktop, it didn't look like it didn't seem to want to map the accountant's copy. It had to be a QBW file.
Full-blown file, not a...
Sarah, have you looked at enterprise solutions for combining, or does that not work for you?
It's just
Too clunky and too...
Well, there's no advantage other than, but see, the consolidation, the problem is, my problem is all the subsidiary companies, the chart of accounts is completely separate from.
Oh.
Okay, so you do need, in order for it to compare apples
Really
to
map. I
apples,
need to say,
it
okay,
must be
in
the same.
this chart, that equals this and that.
Right. Where you get an
That's just
amazing
because of the way
result.
that's the way they budget. They've been doing it 100 years. We've got all this comparative back over the couple years. And so to change methods would be, I'd rather just do it by hand. But with all my templates now, it's not that big of a deal. But there's got to be financial statement software out there where I could Maybe I'll have to write one day.
Spotlight, they do consolidation.
Yeah.
Several companies, more than one companies.
Yeah, it's all one parent company, but all these subsidiaries that I have to roll together quarterly. And they're all unique. So. But
Okay, well, Kevin, we never really got to speak to you. Can you unmute?
I'm unmuted. Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, I live in the Denver area. We live a little bit south of there. We are at
that's our daughter.
500 feet. And we should be getting snow sometime in the next month or so.
Yeah.
The thing I've been working on really hard lately is I've been writing some software actually that integrates with Zero. So this is for a IT company actually that places professionals with their clients, and they have about somewhere between 40 and 50 consultants out in the field and about 10 administrative and commission sales people in their office. And so I'm running this system so it uses a SQL Server, and that runs in the cloud, Azure SQL Server, and there's two ways that you access this data. One is through a portal, through a Microsoft Access web app that runs in SharePoint, and the other is a desktop solution that I'm writing that handles all the back end maintenance of all the master records. So we're getting pretty close to getting ready to install it next week and test it at the client site and go live with it.
Wow, that's
Awesome.
exciting.
That's exciting. I love doing stuff.
It's a big project.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, keep us informed. Come back. Tell us how you're doing.
I will.
Yeah, what's it called? What you name this?
Well, it's I won't give the name of the company. But we call it a concierge system because that's their concept with
Specific
all
for this one client, and you're not going to market it to outside. Right?
I may. There's some
rights to it.
There's some concepts that I'm really getting a lot more familiar with using SharePoint as a collaboration tool, and actually, I think there's a lot of things that you could automate in terms of, kind of a attestation type of functions that you could go in and do, certain testing like a controller would, and then automate messaging to the users, like receivables that need to be collected or just certain things that need to be looked at. Really, I don't know about you guys, but my experiences with my small business clients is they need to be bugged. Reach out to them. They won't go in and look at the financials. And so I think finding those key things and make it simple enough that they can see what the importance of the thing that you're asking.
Dashboard.
Well, it's a dashboard, but it's also a communication system too. My pet name for that part of the system is the Nagger.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I feel that way with Debbie Nuns.
Well, you have smart sheets that you're kind of using that. for.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
That has saved my life. Mark said there's Mark.
Kevin, Sarah asked you a question that was kind of important. She asked if you had a copyright to the software that you wrote.
That's a really interesting question. We haven't really talked about that with my client, which is
you should do that.
But there's a lot of custom features to it. I mean, and that's the thing that I've kind of wondered about. I kind of go back and forth on, well, should we still be using add-ins and workarounds, or design something that just? I mean, this is a company that's probably going to grow $6 million this year, and they hope to double that in 2 years. And we're still running up with a part-time bookkeeper. And
Zero? Or are you just using zero as a general ledger?
yeah, we use zero as the general ledger essentially, but and then for reporting purposes, actually, I pull everything into Excel because I like to write my own custom reporting in Excel. But automated, of course. I don't want to do any data entry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So SharePoint, what'd you say, SQL Server?
Yeah, so it runs as part of my SharePoint subscription. Comes with Access, an Access app, and then when you build the Access app, it creates a SQL Server database in the background, and then you can use that. You can attach the desktop version of Access to that database, and that's where I've designed principally most of my forms and my procedures, because you can take the desktop version of Access and then compile it into an executable and put it on the client's desktop without giving them the code. So it's more secure that way, but it's still, all the data still runs in the cloud, so I can jump on and see what my clients are doing just like you would with, in this application, just like QBO or Zero. So.
Nice.
So do you do the queries with Excel or?
That is Excel.
All the queries are in Access. They're in, so you have to really kind of be a little bit comfortable with using creating queries in Access, and actually create a lot of the queries in something called SQL, a structured query language. And then the Access app, it runs. There's two pieces of it. The web part of it. The interface part of it runs in a macro, and the back end, the data part of it, the web application runs in stored procedures in SQL Server. So you kind of have to know your way around a little bit on how to design a relational database and how to run queries to extract data. But
So you writing a front end on it that the user can use without knowing all this?
That's Access.
Oh yeah, it's
part, right?
Yeah, actually, that's really the goal, is to make it as simple as possible. And so far, I've been able to achieve that, because what we were doing before is, we started out with T-Sheets and QuickBooks, and then we moved off T-Sheets. T-Sheets at that time wouldn't work with Zero. I wanted to get them moved to Zero. They liked the idea of running a cloud-based accounting application, and I wanted to just concentrate on just using Zero. So we implemented Workflow Max with Zero, and we made that work, but it was mostly with using 4 or 5 spreadsheets that they would download information and then do whatever they needed to do, and then upload the entries into Zero. This really kind of takes the place of doing all that nonsense and puts everything into one package. And it is very simple when you look at the console that I built. It's just, I think it's going to be easy to use.
Mark of, a good system is all the complicated stuff's hidden, and the front is like, hey, I can do this.
So what's the actual front end? Is it the SharePoint or the Access?
SharePoint. You say?
Yeah, I'm writing it in Access, and then we'll compile it into an executable we can install on the client desktops.
Okay.
And there may be different versions of that too. I mean, although I got to say, that they are a little bit anti-Microsoft. Something we'd have to work around a little bit.
A little?
Most IT companies are.
So I would say, I think actually my Microsoft stock has done really well over the last couple of years. But I think probably I just need to get a little bit more comfortable with using SharePoint. There's a tremendous number of things you can do in SharePoint, either through Access Web Access, web part, or also there's something that you can create called an Excel web app. So you can publish information from Excel into SharePoint, and that's something that I'm starting to. I don't know whether it'll get done by the end of the year or not, but I really want to move my portal into SharePoint, because all the collaboration, features of SharePoint versus, I'm using ShareFile right now, which is, I think, relatively weak. It's just a document storage system, where SharePoint is actually a collaboration system.
And the SQL, the SQL, you have actually a SQL database, not an Access database that's behind it that you're tying into.
Correct. Yeah, and that's hosted by Microsoft.
Yeah. Okay. So Azure, on Microsoft Azure?
Correct.
Okay.
IT husband.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Quiet.
Nothing.
What the heck you're talking about? And you just
I heard Microsoft and Microsoft and Microsoft and then Microsoft. That's all I got.
I used to work with.
I was about to say, where's Dennis? He used to do this.
I used to work with SQL databases. We had the corporate SQL database. I used Access as a front end to download all this stuff. The problem was half the data was just trash, and so I ended up doing a lot of nested if statements to create conditional fields to, for the data. It was a joke.
Well, if you're downloading, this is actually a direct connection into the database.
Well, this is like about 12 years ago, so it's kind of Access
improved a little.
More, yeah.
But I think part of the concept here is, as I build this out, is probably to run some of those automation tasks at night, probably.
What kind of transactions are we talking about? Accounting or orders?
Yeah, so it's a time and billing, but we'll probably extend that into a CRM system, and then, they're a matchmaker, so it's really important that they have a good database for the recruiting.
Okay.
Their recruits are essentially their inventory. Essentially, that's what they're selling.
Yeah, they're selling the almost. Well, you said they're placing IT people and things like and admin people. Yeah, it's like a
body shop, I call them.
Body shop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't run projects or anything. It's mainly their value is in placing people.
Placing people, yeah.
Headhunters.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you what's the name of that place where they send the accountants and things?
No.
Oh, my mind is like completely fried here.
Where they send the accountants?
Well, yeah, like temp. The temp
accountants go.
Is it? What is it? Isn't it AccuTemps or?
Yeah, AccuTemps.
AccuTemps. That's what it is.
I used to work for Robert Half Management Resources about 14 years ago, and they were like the part of the account temps and office support, and it was quite an interesting experience. One time on a project, I got stuck in their back office because they didn't have room at the client's office for me. And I just saw how little the consultants were doing to try to get me work. That's why I decided to become my own boss rather than
on your own. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured I couldn't do any worse than what they were doing.
But this is interesting. You start thinking about your inventory, and you've got skill sets. You have who's available when. You have needs versus what's in your.
I really think it's the way the whole economy is really kind of going.
Yeah.
It's matching the right people with the right job, basically.
Right.
One thing I found when I was working as a consultant was more companies are going to just-in-time employees. I mean, trying to make the employees a variable cost rather than a fixed cost.
Mm-hmm.
This was, like I say, 12 years ago, and it's probably even more so now.
Right.
So Kevin, you were using T-sheets, and now you found something else?
He made something else, Larry.
Well, T-sheets would only do one piece of that puzzle.
Yeah, and that's true. And then they have very specific requirements for their billing, and so we've automated that whole process. I think it's kind of nice. I mean, they can go in, they'll basically see all their unbilled time and their which they pay some of that time on an employee basis and some of it on a contractor basis. It doesn't sound that complicated, but when you actually sit down to write the system for it, it gets a little bit complicated.
Okay,
So
and
you need client sign off and all of that, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by that?
But that somebody actually works so many hours, author,
Oh, yeah.
Not like with the temp thing, they come in and you sign the little carbon thing. Yeah.
But what I've tried to do as much as possible in this system is, always show them a gross margin on what they're, what they're billing and what they're paying.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice control, so they can always see that, that it's in line pretty much with what their expectations are for gross margin.
So are you an accountant, or are you a programmer, or what do you do when you grow up? What are you gonna do?
I'm actually a CPA and a CFP.
Okay.
I also have my securities licenses. I might have my insurance licenses. And I just, when Access came out like 20 years ago, I picked that up and this is really cool. And so, throughout the years, I've kind of played with it. I've built some projects for clients. I've run all my practice using my own stuff, so I eat my own dog food. And but it's just really just in the last year that I've really finally gotten over the hump with SharePoint to really understand how to use it in my practice so that I can start becoming familiar enough with it to start developing client tools with it. So it's huge for me.
Yeah. See, I like coming up with ideas, but then I have to hire a programmer to do it, and then I have to go through the hell of being a developer
and trying to explain it right.
In this sense, it's T-sheets, Expensify, and a workflow, right?
I'm sorry?
T-sheets, Expensify, and a workflow. These are the three functionalities you built in.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm just not familiar with Expensify. When you guys are talking about these third-party apps,
but Expensify gathers receipts, gets approvals, codes, and then
sends them on, right?
That's the workflow there.
Also
but
CRM.
Yeah, the CRM. It's a CRM. You think that's a CRM?
No, it's not. It's a CRM is a component of that.
Oh, a CRM would be a component. Yeah. Yeah, see, we're still, what is the chunkification? We still chunkify. We still use this little app for this and this little app for that.
That's the way to go these days.
Yeah.
Well, you have to. There's so many apps out there, and all the businesses are different. Even if you're in the same line of business, you can still use different apps.
Well, look at all the different apps we looked at this morning with Seth. And so basically they all had a app that would take a picture of a receipt, but every one of them was so unique on
that would do different things
after that. And,
and you have to be, like Joanne said, able to know what the use is going to be and what you're going to be doing with that digital information.
Well, that's kind of where you become the valued advisor, because I don't think the clients would understand QuickBooks plus an app to try to string together.
And to me, the where the rubber hits the road is having a good enough knowledge of all the applications that work out there, and then going to the client and saying, okay, you can either you need to adapt your business processes to fit these applications, or we need to do something that's a little bit more custom, or you need to create some kind of workaround. And to me, there's a huge value add in that.
Yeah, and what happened with me, like for the perfect example, was when I went to a client who was very much mailing me bank statements, using QuickBooks Desktop, everything was like a lot of manual work was done. And I put my foot down and we had a meeting and I said, he likes desktop. I'm okay with that. I said, we're setting you up with QBox. You're going to get me all your statements. We're going to connect you to HubDoc, and this is why. And as soon as I did everything, he was like, and I showed him, I spent like a half an hour showing him HubDoc and how he could potentially use that as a place to keep everything in one place for himself. He was blown away. He was like, this is a whole new world. Like he didn't even care like to bring it into the QuickBooks, but just to have one place and have an option for him. Yeah, he was blown away. And the whole QBox thing, where now he's going to have everything up to date in real time. And when I'm done and I close the file and he sees everything that I did like instantly, he's just like, this is brilliant. So I think a lot of us, it takes, I think in my opinion, it takes a lot of balls, like to get to that level, to be able to, we have to tell the clients what they need and be afraid of them saying no, or then they're not your client. You have to say, this is the best way to function for your business.
Yep.
That's why
it's so hard, though. I mean,
It's not easy.
because you have to know all the apps, and the apps are always changing too.
right. And that's the other thing too, is that and that's
How can
why
you
it's
stay
like,
on top of all of that.
yeah. And that's why it's hard to, but I think as, having venues such as this group and Seth's group and stuff like that, being able to say, have you checked this out? And Linda would be like, oh, I checked it out and I didn't like it because of XYZ. So then you can kind of at least get an idea of where you need to at least take a look at it. Most of these softwares have free trials. Mess around with it, get a free account.
But they're so complicated these days, and the setup is so awesome that once you're through that free trial, you might as well do it.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because after you go through it once, you don't want to do it again.
My problem is if I have a problem person that is the cog in the wheel, like I'm on board with half the owners or the managers, and there's that one person. I had that problem the other day with a client, and finally, and I was told, I wanted to show them T-sheets, and the word came back, no. I mean, this too big brother. We don't need GPS. It's unethical for employees to use their own devices. I mean, you would. Yeah. So I called a meeting, a Zoom meeting, because I want to see everybody. Let's talk. What are the fears and all that. And what I had was one very headstrong person from the 1900s, and everybody else.
1900s.
And everybody else who was like so excited to be able to schedule and solve all these problems. And, we had, that is so painful for me, because that is like, in a perfect world, I would just like to sit in the back room and do all this work. I wouldn't want to have to do all this one-on-one personality.
It is tough when it's more than one person that you're dealing with.
And it's a respect
one person you can say, trust me, try it for a month.
Right.
And but if you're talking a bunch of people, and I just actually had this happen. I'm working on a large project, and it was for a board. Well, I just got told that it got reorganized, and the person I was dealing with is no longer there.
Welcome to my nonprofit world.
Welcome to the world of nonprofits.
When you have a new owner and a new boss every 2 or 3 years, and you have to sell your value all over again. Yeah.
Or you get the email that says that their grants haven't been renewed and they can't afford you anymore. And
or you have accurate financials.
And the new treasurer's. This was my favorite. A new treasurer came on, and her daughter-in-law had bought QuickBooks at Best Buy. She was starting her own business. Didn't know what EFTPS was. She was so used to doing the little coupons where she colored it.
I don't think
4 years later, I got them back, and I had to redo 4 years worth of work. Usually, I say don't come back.
Yeah.
I made a lot of money.
I don't think that the clients are as up to date as we are. We do have to lead them and tell them what is available out there, but they also have to be open to that.
They have to be open to it, and that's vetting.
That's hard. That's hard. Any kind of
Yeah,
change is
no.
hard for anybody.
Somebody who's usually open to new ideas and very, trusting with me, and then all of a sudden I start getting that
Pushback, yeah.
pushback, and I'm like, there's always somebody in the back around.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
So what you just said kind of reminded me of some reading I've been doing lately on markets with asymmetrical information.
Mm-hmm. Asymmetrical?
Asymmetrical, and that's where the seller has very good knowledge about the product or the service that they're selling, and the customer has very little knowledge.
Right.
Those are considered to be bad markets to be in.
Yeah.
And they tend to break down because the quality products and services don't generate the prices that they should. And so I think it is an education.
How to do
educating
that.
the client is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And it's an art. I learned debits and credits. I didn't learn that selling or the verbal.
And yeah, a lot of accountants, I believe, are in that position.
Yeah,
a lot of accountants, I think, are happy being behind the scenes and just doing the data entry and just producing whatever they need to, and everybody's happy. Well, it's not that.
That's why I'm so happy when my client base is stable, everybody's making plenty of money, we're not killing ourselves, and then I've got another large anchor client I've got an accountant up in Connecticut or Maryland after my job, and they want somebody closer.
Right.
So, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, hell, I got to do this all over again. I can find clients. I don't worry about that. I get the word out. I've been doing this for 30 years. I have an excellent reputation. So it isn't that. It's the onboarding of a new client is all consuming, a large client, because I will pick apart from beginning to end and systematize and
it takes time to learn it too. You're not going to learn it in 1 month or even 2 months.
Oh.
It could be 6 months before all the things that are going to happen about.
It takes years to get a bookkeeper really knowing a client.
That's right.
Really well. It takes a long time to get the client. They'll come in at different knowledge levels, so you're re-educating. It's not just this whole thought of accounting is just posting numbers. We all know there's compliance and I like to be efficient. I like systems and left didn't. Let's go right. Right smoother. So and that's. I don't know. I mean, I know nonprofits, that's my world, so that's where I'm the most comfortable. I need another anchor client that isn't a nonprofit, because the clients that I have that are not nonprofits I've had since the 80s. The same owner, and either they sell or die or something. But
you need a little consistency.
You build that relationship that is so awesome.
Right.
So I think I have too many eggs in that nonprofit basket, but we shall see. But yeah, it's learning. I remember thinking I never wanted to be an attorney because I would have to be constantly laws change. I'd have to learn. I'm like, thinking. Yeah, Mark's like even worse than IT. Like, you're running as fast as you can and you never catch
This
up.
is the reason I quit IT and moved into this.
Oh, you quit IT and moved into accounting.
Alrighty, we are almost. I'm sorry, we are almost out of time. Was there anything that anyone wanted to talk about before we?
Yeah,
I'm going to try a program called File Center this weekend, so maybe I'll have something to show you all next week.
I have a quick announcement. I went to a thing called, what was it? Biz Fair. It's in the Seattle area, and they have all these free classes. And so I put a link in the Smart Sheet.
Oh, thank you.
That's great. Yes. Oh my gosh, there was so many awesome resources with that. Thank you for bringing that up.
The guy that did the the website, marketing. He's actually he's recording he recorded the sessions and he's going to have those available on October 3rd. So when I get those, I'll upload those too.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And next week, we actually have a demo by Sage Payment Solutions that integrates with QuickBooks online and desktops and all kinds of stuff.
I'm
So
going to my stepson's wedding.
good.
In Kansas City, being one of the mothers of this groom.
When is your, I thought you were doing a bike ride.
That's the next weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing a bike ride.
140 miles to Augusta.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
So he does that
That's
every year.
in South Georgia too, so it's Toast City.
It's October, so it's not there. It's nice.
Not as toasty
Not
as it could
August.
Well, I want to end on everybody. There's been so many scams that I've been seeing lately.
Oh.
I mean, unbelievable. It's hard to know when you get my email will not accept anything from Intuit at this point. It automatically goes into the spam folder, no matter what. So yeah, but the video that I really want everyone to watch is the one that Joanne shared. Yeah. If you had a link, that would be great. I mean, or you could go onto Joanne's
I'll put a link in it.
profile and look at it.
It's my personal profile.
But it was actually a person that got somebody from Pakistan. And yeah.
That's what I was watching this morning, where he was going, "No, I'm not outstanding. No, I'm not. I didn't want to stand on the lawnmower. I ordered a
ride on it. Sit
Right. But this is what
down. Show up at your house with an arrest warrant.
IRS is going to put you in handcuffs. And we need iTunes cards."
We need to tell our parents, our grandparents, people that are vulnerable that these things are happening and to not get caught up in them.
Oh, really?
Here it is.
Oh, come and get me.
There we go.
But
Go
Gina,
to Target to pay the IRS.
Gina, the other one also, we've been told, or we've been trying to get our clients or tax clients to understand the IRS will never call you or email you.
They do.
They are.
They will always send you a notice in the mail.
Rarely.
Now, the scammers are sending mail.
The scammers are starting to mail.
Yeah.
God.
So now that's another thing that we have to let them know. Hey, yes, we told you that whenever you get something from the IRS in the mail, it's real. Now we have to tell them, no, it's not.
Come and see us, talk to us. We'll know the people and we'll have the numbers to talk to.
That's right.
Misha, you did a post on your business page about that, right?
Yeah, I shared. I actually went directly to the Forbes link, and I shared it, and then I literally put do's and don't, these are the tips. If you file it yourself, go onto the IRS's website and get the phone number to call to verify that it's right. If you had somebody do it, go to your professional, your tax person first, and then if you really don't understand, just seek out professional advice before you write a check to somebody.
If you think you want to write a check, stop right there. Do not sign that check. Nothing is going to happen today or tomorrow or before you can get to talk to somebody.
Exactly.
Well, the funny thing about the video that I shared was that the guy was actually getting the scammer wanted the guy to go to Target and buy Target gift cards to pay for his tax. It was like, you have to get 2,000
gift bags.
So he comes back and he goes, I bought 2,000 gift bags.
Bags, right?
But the guy does say his true nature after he finds out.
Oh, I tell you what, like the ones, the fake Microsoft ones, are you sitting in front of your computer? They call at least once a week.
I actually did I should have recorded it, but I actually had one of those guys on the line
Yeah.
for me once, and I was messing with him.
Yeah, I do
He
that.
was saying all this stuff, and I'm like, really? Because I have a Mac computer, and I'm like, really? Because I have a Mac computer. Can it still mess up my computer? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. And he goes, well, I can log into my computer. And I'm like, how the heck can you do that? And he was like, let me walk you through it. And then finally I called, BS on him, and he got mad.
Oh, no, cuss
Called
out
me
too.
a nasty, disgusting name, and then he hung up. I don't think it was Microsoft, just saying.
I saw this video. This guy kept him on. He BS'd with him for about an hour, and then the scammer finally gave up.
Yeah. So the longer you've got it, sometimes I feel like screwing with them. Sometimes I just let them.
Yeah, those are billable hours. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Ain't got time for that. Honey Badger.
Honey Badger don't got time for that.
Hey, who's there's a gal on one of the
hold.
Oh yeah, I do that a lot. Oh, okay. Let me go. I gotta get powered up. Hold on a minute. I put on hold. That's a long. Come on. I'm still here. It's really slow. Hold. There's a gal on one of the Facebook pages who got a garnishment for something that she didn't know 17 years ago, and it's not from the court. It's not
Right. I saw that. Yeah.
Don't go pay an attorney to help you with that. I mean, that's just
right.
If you're somebody who's scared and and at least they came to their reached out for help, but call the court.
Absolutely. Don't just write that check. Talk to somebody. Anybody.
I don't like being threatened.
Yeah.
I get mad before I get scared.
All righty. On that note, I'm going to end. We'll see you all next week. We're talking Sage payments next week. So we'll see you then. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.